All right, I want you to look at your product inventory right now, and I want you to identify the products that are really easy to sell, the ones that fly off the shelf. And then I want you to look at the ones that are a struggle, like you can't get them to move, you've tried everything you can think of. Well, today we're going to discuss the principle that every product has a conversion rate. Do you know what yours are? Let's get started.
Hey there, this is Corinna Bench, and welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast. In today's market, it's not enough to just grow your product. You've got to know how to sell it too. Welcome to the My Digital Farmer podcast, where we reveal online marketing strategies and tips to help farmers like you get better and more confident at marketing. Learn how to find more customers, increase your sales, and build a strong brand for your farm. Let's start the show.
Well, welcome to episode 257 of the My Digital Farmer podcast. I'm your host, Corinna Bench, one of the farmers at Shared Legacy Farms out in Elmore, Ohio. I'm also the founder of MyDigitalFarmer.com, which is all about trying to help other farmers get more confident in their marketing and sales strategies so that you can grow a profitable business. How's everyone doing today? Big shout out to everyone who's come back to listen again and my binge listeners. I love it. If you're new to the podcast, really glad you're here today. I hope you become a binge listener too. Make sure you subscribe to the show. Go check out my first 10 episodes. I always tell people to go there. They're an onboarding into the marketing lingo. You should definitely get onto my email list as well, because when you do, I'm going to send you basically a crash course in marketing over the course of 2 months. You can go to mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. And probably twice a week, you'll get an email from me with the best of the best tips that you need to start your marketing journey. Today's episode is sponsored by my friends at LocalLine. Make the switch to LocalLine and scale your farm business. LocalLine is the all-in-one sales platform for farmers and food hubs. Increase your sales and streamline your processes with features including e-commerce, inventory management, subscriptions, online payments, price lists, and more. Now, unlike many generic e-commerce platforms, LocalLine is actually built for selling local food online. So whether you're a CSA farmer like us, or you sell meat, or you run a food hub, or you sell wholesale, or offer a herd share, LocalLine has the tools and features that you'll need to succeed. Subscriptions start as low as $49 a month with no setup fees, and there are no sales percentages. Plus, if you join LocalLine today, your onboarding manager will help get your storefront migrated at no cost. You'll be up and running in no time. And you guys, their service is outstanding. Bonus, as a podcast listener, LocalLine is also offering a free premium feature for 1 year with your subscription when you use my coupon code MDF2024. So any premium feature that you want, you get to choose. Make the switch today. Go to mydigitalfarmer.com/LocalLine and then enter in that coupon code MDF2024 to get that free premium feature. And now back to the show. Today we're talking about conversion rates. Do you know what that even means? When I was first learning about marketing, I kept hearing people talk about conversion rates, and I didn't know what they were talking about. So I thought we would spend a whole episode discussing the importance of the product conversion rate, knowing what your product conversion rate is. And my hope is that by the end of this episode, you will be motivated to determine roughly what your signature product's conversion rate is, or at least know roughly what the conversion rates are for your most important products. So let's start out by defining what a conversion rate is. It is the percent of people who will say yes to that particular offer. So if you were to pitch a particular product to someone, let's say that you asked 100 people to buy your eggs. So 100 people come to your farmer's market stand and you ask every single one of them, would you like to buy a dozen eggs? And when asked, 75 out of those 100 do, then your eggs would have a 75% conversion rate. That's a very high conversion rate, by the way. Now, here's the principle that I want you to recognize. Every product has a conversion rate. Now, the higher conversion rates tend to be our best sellers, right? That makes sense. Similarly, the higher conversion rates also tend to be our gateway products. I want you to think about that. If you know that something is a very popular item and that people really love it and are probably going to have success with the product, you tend to lead with that, right? You know that this is something that many people will say yes to, so you're trying to get the yes, and so you pitch that product first. And that's very smart. If we want to be leading with our high converting offers, that's a great kind of signal that that is a good gateway product. Now, similarly, some products have low conversion rates, and sometimes that just is what it is. And I want to kind of stay here for just a second, because I think one of the things that can happen is that we can start to beat ourselves up and say, there's something wrong with me. I can't get this product to move like I can some of my other products. And we try all these different strategies, which is great. That's what marketing's all about. We're always trying to get our conversion rate to go higher. But sometimes the product just has a low conversion rate. I personally think that a CSA share has a low conversion rate, and we can do a lot to try and incentivize people to make the offer better, but it just might be lower than some of the other things you sell. And I bring this up because I think this can actually free you. It can, I hope, make you not feel so bad or beat yourself up so bad. It's maybe not your fault. Sometimes the product just isn't as easy to sell. Today's podcast is sponsored by Farm Marketing School. This is my monthly membership where farmers can come in and build marketing assets one at a time in special 30-day build projects that I've created for you. Right now, there are like 8 projects inside of Farm Marketing School, and every month a new one gets added. And you basically subscribe for 30 days, or you can stay in for a couple months or 3 months. You can stay in the whole year. But what you're doing is you go inside and you decide, this is the project that I want to work on. You take the class, the workshop class that's recorded, you just watch it, and then you build it yourself. So this is the DIY version of Accelerator. There's no coaching element or mastermind or Zoom meetups. It's just you going in there, watching the class that the accelerators saw live with me, and then working on it on your own. So if you're a DIY type of person and you think you can do it yourself, this is an amazing resource. There are projects in there for how to build a promotion plan, how to build your email nurture sequence, how to write a great weekly email, how to build the website homepage messaging, what goes on that homepage, how to build a lead magnet, and more. So if you want to see what's in the Farm Marketing School, you can head to mydigitalfarmer.com/FMS. And I encourage you to subscribe for 1 month. Check it out. I have a whole onboarding, like a crash course in marketing, that I encourage you to take in your first week. There's an assessment inside of there that's going to help you know which elements you should build first. It's so good, and I would love it if you would give it a shot for a month. Let me know what you think, and if you decide you like it, you can stay in there for several months in the off season and get a ton of your marketing stuff done. Now, conversion rates can vary based on a lot of different factors. I wanted to bring that up as well. So, for example, the time of year, the season of the year can affect the conversion rate of the same product. I'm thinking of like school supplies have a very high conversion rate in the month of August, right? Like glue, people are going to go crazy and buy glue sticks because that's what you do. If you try to get people to buy glue sticks in March, the conversion rate is going to be a lot lower. So sometimes it's just a seasonal thing. There's a right time for something to be offered. Supply and demand also affects our conversion rates. So if there's, urgency or a scarcity in the market and everybody wants the thing and they can't get it, or there's only going to be around for a little bit of time, that is going to drive a conversion rate higher. Price obviously affects our conversion rate. when the price is lowered, sometimes that will cause people to rush and try and buy the thing, and the conversion rate suddenly goes higher. The sales method can also affect your conversion rate. This is something I want you to think about. I noticed this kind of anecdotally with Digital Farmer when I pitch my accelerator membership and I get people onto a call and I talk them through the offer. I noticed that my conversion rate for that is extremely high in comparison to trying to pitch people through an email where I still have a conversion rate, but it's a whole lot lower, right? So sometimes getting on the phone and doing a one-to-one call with someone might actually be worth it for you if it's, I'm thinking like a side of beef, for example. Like if you've noticed that you close a lot more deals by spending time on the phone, then maybe that's okay and you should use that sales channel more often. So, email is a sales channel. Maybe you're using texts. Maybe you're using a free trial as kind of a sales method, or you're talking to people in person. All of these will have different conversion rates, and it's kind of good to have a sense of which is the one that does the best for me. It doesn't mean that you abandon the others. You can use them all, but just know that some of them are going to have a higher conversion rate. And then also conversion rates can vary based on how hot or cold the traffic is. And, I think about like at the farmer's market, for example, people are coming to the farmer's market as a hot audience, right? They're ready to buy vegetables. That's why they've come. And so a lot more of those people are going to say yes than if you put yourself somewhere else where there's cold traffic, where there are people that aren't really in that state of mind to buy your product. They aren't product aware or interested or feeling the pain point or the desire. So those are some of the different factors you kind of need to be aware of as you're measuring and looking at your conversion rates. Now, knowing your conversion rate obviously can be super, super helpful. And let's just say if I know that 10% of the people who go through my CSA offer through my email sequence eventually convert, then I know that all I have to do is move 10 people through that funnel to get one client, right? Are you tracking? And then it just becomes a numbers game. Like how can I get, if I need to sell then 10 shares, then I need to move 100 people through that funnel if I know my conversion rate is 10%. So that's why I just want to encourage you to start paying attention to what that is. See if you can figure out what the conversion rate is, because that will help you a ton. Now, troubleshooting, I think it's also helpful when you know your conversion rate. It helps you troubleshoot some issues. So for example, let's just say Google Analytics is telling you that like 100 people visit your page for your products, your farm products. They've come to your website to look into your farm store stuff. And yet you only get like 5 sales. Well, that might make you wonder, like, why is my conversion rate so low when I'm driving 100 people here and only 5 people are buying? And it might be an indicator that something is up on your website. Maybe there's a messaging element that's missing, something's not clear, that's causing the person to stop in their tracks, right? So I think this is why it's important to pay attention to these numbers, because they can help you troubleshoot the funnel. Now, I feel like it's a good idea to, once you know what that number is, that you allow that to become your benchmark. And then you're always trying to beat the benchmark, right? That becomes the goal. Like, how can I optimize it and get it a little bit better? Realizing that sometimes it's just going to always be kind of in the lower numbers, the lower digits. Maybe that's okay. And then it's just a matter of moving traffic through the funnel. But we are always trying to beat our own benchmark. I do sometimes look at the national average of things, but overall, I think what we're trying to do is just beat our own benchmark. All right. Well, what I want you to do, my homework for you today is I want you to try and determine what the conversion rate is of your best selling item. So maybe you've got several of them, but take a look and try to figure out what is that rate. And then likewise, if you have a signature product, can you determine what that conversion rate is as well? Now, just as a side note, I want to bring up here, if your product is selling like gangbusters, like it's selling out in a matter of hours or days, then you may want to raise your price because that's just an indicator that you probably could. All right, so that's my homework today. Figure out what those conversion rates are. And if you have a really low one, I guess I want to give you permission to take the pressure off. Stop beating yourself up and making yourself think it's your fault. It could just be that product is always going to have a low conversion rate. All right, well, that's all I got today. That was a short episode. If you liked this episode, please go leave me a rating or a review on Apple Podcast, or tell someone who needs to hear today's message about the show. And if you want to get onto my email list, don't forget I have some awesome free stuff to send your way to make your marketing even stronger. You can get that at mydigitalfarmer.com/subscribe. Don't forget, I'm also now on Instagram at mydigitalfarmer. I'd love to catch up with you there. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great week, and I'll catch you next time. I believe in you.